Yeah. Woo. Welcome to the Honor Among Men podcast. I'm David. To the right of me we have
Mikey Mike.
Yes. To the left of me we have
Mr. Maverick.
And in the place to be, the face you'll never see, we have
Drew Visual, baby.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back, brother.
Glad to be back, man.
Round of applause
Glad to be
for
back.
you.
Baby and everything.
I know, word. Yeah, matter of fact, round of applause for that. This brother done had a baby.
Shout out to my baby girl, Melody.
Shout out
Melody
to your
Joy,
baby girl.
Rochelle Young.
Yes, indeed.
Just in case she sees this in about,
20
few years. Yeah, 20 years.
Melody
Yeah,
Joy?
word.
Melody Joy.
Melody
Man, I
Joy.
like that.
That's my daughter got that same similar name.
Yeah, Mariah.
Michaela Joy.
Michaela Joy. Yeah, I'm hip.
We
I'm
in
hip.
there.
Okay.
The Joys are in the
Hallelujah.
represented.
Rick, you coming up?
Hey, so when she gets upset, I'll be like, have joy.
Have Joy. You know your middle name.
Right. Joy comes
Yeah,
in the morning.
you see how Rick like slid right under there too. You tried to put him on there. He said, "Rick, you coming up?"
I
That
ain't,
boy,
I ain't slide. I ain't in the vicinity.
that's what you
That
heard.
cricket, that's exactly what I
Definitely
heard.
what you heard.
He wrote, I felt like he wrote his eyes at me. Like, what we meant? Like, Show love.
I was looking to see where your cord was.
So you could pull it. You ain't got that cup for no reason though, bro. I mean,
Hey,
look,
Dad
you
squad.
got the cup.
Dad
You wanna
squad.
know-
Welcome.
You want to know what's interesting?
Welcome to the squad, bro.
I don't have it facing the camera for a reason.
Whatever. It's definitely
It's
facing the
facing the
camera.
camera.
It's on both sides, doctor.
Bro,
It's
they
on
can only see
whatever.
from
Well, they can see mine. We got the same cup. Hello. You know what I mean? They can see mine and they can see yours. And welcome to the squad. You know what I mean? Round of applause for Rick.
Being an uncle,
You know what I'm saying?
that uncleship is real.
Dad squad. You know what I'm saying? Stop running from your calling, brother.
Hello.
Don't run from your calling.
We'll chase you down.
Don't run from your calling,
Is that
bro.
what you did? Is that what you did, Mike?
What?
Chase me down. You looked up your genealogy.
I'm your daddy.
All this time. All this
What's
time.
our topic for today? Because we ready to
That's
go
funny.
all
No,
the way
he took it.
I'm in his daddy. He won't try. I'm the leader. That's why I got a different cup. You see, I got a different cup. I'm the leader.
That's what that indicates.
Yeah, I don't know. I just had it came there right there. It was like going. We got
These
diarrhea
off
of
the
mouth.
dome jokes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Got him.
Word. Word. Man, everybody cool though, man.
We
I'm
good.
good. I'm good.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
can't wait to watch the podcast. I didn't know we were publicized.
Word. But man, we got a topics for today. And I'm gonna just get right into them. Controversial, I think so. You might not, but look, we finna get into it. So I'm gonna just read what I have right here. The topic is the N-word. Should we say it? Should white people be allowed to say it? Why are we so offended when we hear other races say it? As black people, obviously. And what do you do if someone says it to you? And I'll leave the last one. I'll just leave the last one. But because that's a lot. So we're going to have to, tackle it one at a time. But so the N-word, you know what? I got a question. First of all, like, obviously, this is a podcast from the man of God perspective. We are all men of God, no question. You know what I'm saying? As flawed as I may be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm definitely striving, pressing toward the mark. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get it right. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get it right. I just want to please the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's what it is. So I have my opinions. I have my perspectives. And all of them, might not be what the average person or what the average Christian feels they should be. But nonetheless, they are my perspectives. And I'm willing to be critiqued. I'm willing to be, I guess I would say, rebuked or reprimanded if I'm out of pocket. But I got my opinions, and they are my
100%.
opinions. You know what I'm saying? And so it is what it is. But the question is that I have as far as the N word: do y'all use the N word?
I do.
You do.
Yeah.
What about you, bro?
I can.
You have.
I have.
What about you, Drew?
Very rarely. Like it's like literally like a once in a. It all depends on who I'm around. Like
Okay.
the word literally has to be. It has to be people that I'm comfortable.
Comfortable with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Comfortable saying it around.
Okay. All right. So, oh yeah, and I use it. I definitely use it, and obviously, I use it around. I guess I would say what Drew said, like people that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So that's that. So should we? I mean, is that a thing? Like, can you be a man of God and use the N word?
I believe so.
Or
yeah.
is it appropriate? Let's say that. Because I mean, obviously, because I'm a man
Yeah.
of God. There's no question. You know
I
what
think
I'm
so.
saying?
Because at least between us, we use it in that way of, usually when somebody says something like very silly or ignorant, we're like, come on.
You're right.
Like, yeah. We use it in the right word. We're not using it in kind of like
a negative
negative
connotation.
negative connotations or anything
Or
like that.
willy nilly.
Right. It literally means we're literally using it as it's meant to be used in that
Yeah.
context.
I hear
As it's meant to be used.
I'm saying
That's
just
deep.
coined the
No,
term
that's
right
deep.
there.
That's deep.
I want to hear more.
So how is it meant to be used?
well, you mean nigga means ignorant.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Does it?
Okay.
It does. I mean, you look up the word. It means ignorant.
I don't use it in that context ever.
I use it,
Bro,
Okay,
how do
go.
you, how do you use it?
I use it like if I was talking about y'all and I was talking, I was like, I'm about to go hang out with my niggas.
Okay.
I do, and that don't, and that's like your question was just asked. Like
Is it like a term of endearment?
to me, yeah, it's like. And
I
it's-
wanted to make sure I was using the right phrase. That's all.
I've used it. I use it as a term of endearment. I also use it when I see something ignorant.
Okay.
You know what I'm
But I don't
saying?
ever attach that definition to it. I get maybe that's the definition, but I
Yeah.
don't go there.
I think the word has so many different connotations.
For sure. How you
You know
say
what I'm
it.
saying? Definitely how you say it,
Who you say it to?
who you say it to.
And you want to know the thing about me, when I made my transition to live for Christ, it was certain things that I detached or disassociated myself
Okay.
with, and not because it's a sin, but just because it reminded me of the old me. So for example, and you can contest to this, I didn't for the longest I didn't rap. Like when I got saved, it was just spoken word. Like I didn't rap for the longest whatsoever. Matter of fact, it was like right when me and Dave linked up, I just started back, like writing to beats. And then even after that, I didn't rap to any trap style beats.
Word.
And period. And I said it in the song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't rap on trap beats.
Don't ask me.
Don't ask me. That's me. You know what I'm saying? But it's not because it's a sin. It's because it reminded me so much of myself. You know, the old me.
Yeah.
So when it came to the term, nigga, it's not like it's because it's a sin. It just I disassociated the old vernacular because it reminded me so much of who I was. And I cursed a lot, so my combinations is like
fierce.
impeccable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and could be fierce, but I can put some combinations together.
Facts.
So it's not like, it's because it was a sin. It's just because I was really just trying to disassociate myself with the old me. So, and even though I don't feel really anything about it now, and it's not because, I've been saved for X amount of years, I'm not going to use it. It's just it's been so long since I've used it, I don't even, think about it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
okay.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
me personally. But it when I hear my bros, like, it don't bother me. And like I said, I have said it, but it's not like, ooh, nothing like that.
I think
So,
sometimes it can be cringe-worthy when other people say it, though.
Like, what do you mean? What does he mean?
Because a
exactly?
part of your question when you said, and like Rick just said, when I hear my bro say it, I'm like, all right, I don't feel no way. But if I hear I know a lot of Latino people say it.
Okay.
And when I was, teaching last semester, I would be in the classrooms and I would hear the Hispanic kids say it more than the black kids. Like, it was like every other word.
Okay.
Nigga this, nigga that, nigga. And I'm like, whoa. It wasn't in the same type of conversation that we have, same type of dialect that we share. It was more like, are they just saying it just to show that they cool?
Right.
So to me, cringeworthy, and I remember back in the day when you're talking about music we listen to, like, my niggas don't dance, we just pull up our pants to do it. And I was like, they Spanish, they saying it didn't bother
Fat
me.
Joe.
Yeah, Fat Joe, but now
Fat Joe be reckless with it.
yeah, now I'm like, I don't
Joe's
know.
reckless.
Some people like,
And you want to know something?
What?
Me personally, like, even growing up in my neighborhood, like, we had the white boys, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they could say it, like, they had that pass, and we gave them that pass. I mean, you're a part of this culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say a part of the culture, like, you going through the same things I'm going through. You stay right around the corner from me. I'm seeing you on the daily, on the regular. You know what I'm saying? So I know when he used it, it wasn't like malice or, in a negative tone. It's the language. It was just the language. I associate myself with you. And for sure, we did. Like, he was cool with the squad, 100%. But again, it's a white boy, but it's a part of the culture. It was a part of the culture.
Yeah.
So if you're a part of the culture, like, I really can't say, ooh, you can't say it, when, like, you grew up in it just as much as I have.
No, I hear you. I just don't know if it's a culture thing. I think, because when I listen to, like, the elder men, like, when they speak, Boyce Watkins or the other man we were just talking about earlier, if they say Negro, they talking about us as a people. Like, what people do for Negroes and stuff like that. They're not talking about the black culture. They're talking about the black man when they use the word Negro. And I think to me, that's the only connotation that it should be used right. And it should be used for. Like, I know you're like, oh, these niggas crazy. And you talking about men or whatever. You talking about a group of people, you can point to them and say that. But I think the only way you should use it if you're talking about us as a people.
Oh, so you're saying...
It's not a culture. It's just the people. Like,
but you know what? And I hear you. I definitely hear you. But every culture has its language. Even hip hop is a culture.
Yeah.
Hip hop has its own language. You know what I'm saying?
And that word is a part of the hip hop vernacular.
And not even just that word, but certain phrases. Stem or originates from the hip hop culture.
Yeah.
And that's in any culture. Every culture has their language, and that's my perspective on it. I really don't. It doesn't mean. I don't give it that power. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really doesn't mean that much to me, honestly.
I come from, and I'm with you, and I kind of, like, at this point, I kind of, like, find myself, like, examining, like, I don't let your good doing be evil spoken of, and, like, if it bothers other people for them to hear me to say nigga, and, like, I get approached on it, I'm like, or if I feel like people judge us because we feel it's because we use those words, I feel like as a Christian, a man, and I know that I got, like, young people who look up to me, or, my homeboys that's not, in Christ, and, like, we're on a podcast now, we're talking about it. I can really feel like I probably should speak different so they can see there's a come up from being, when you become a Christian man, you don't act the same way.
Right, but that's a level, for one, maturity, consideration. I think consideration comes from maturity, and it's not so much you can't be you, but we as a people, it's certain things we don't discuss. It's certain behaviors we don't express around certain people. It's not that we're being fake, but it's just everybody can't get every part of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, for one, nobody's going to get 100% of me completely. You know, I'm still learning about me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I honestly believe certain people, for one, you have to be conscientious of just that very thing.
Right.
Because though you've made it to a level of maturity, the youth could see you and say, oh, if I can say that and still be saved, then I can say that and do this. So what you just said is really profound, 100%. But I think it's something that you already do as far as being aware of, you know, your audience and your environment. You know, I think that's something you already do. We do. You know what I'm saying? As humans.
Code switch.
Yeah.
Code switch. Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing?
I really
We
don't
do
think
code
I don't
switch.
know if it's a code switch, bro. Because you know,
Is that like a technical term? I feel like that's like a term.
This is a technical term.
And you have a degree in
Sociology.
sociology and
Psychology.
So are those sociology, psychology like terms?
Sociology terms. Yeah.
Code switch.
Yeah, it's just basically when you. I did this at my graduation. My wife didn't like it, but she saw me mingling with the kids, people that I went to college with, and I was speaking very proper like.
Okay.
And then my homeboys that came to my graduation, I immediately when I started walking out of the graduation with them, I turned on my Baltimore accent and we spoke the way we normally get
The
down.
vernacular.
Spoke the language.
But now dig this, you don't even have to shut it off. I promise you, if either one of us call somebody from Detroit and just put them on speakerphone,
You're gonna be able to
immediately,
tell.
You know, man, you're gonna hear "What up, though" out of me.
Yeah.
You know, what's the word even more? You know, just certain things I can't even think off the top of my head.
But
You
I
have to be in
think
convo.
it's a little bit different what he just said. I feel like
No, that's different. That's what I'm saying. The code switch is different.
because he
It's
basically
like purposely.
Yeah, it sound like you said.
purposely.
It sound like what you saying is when you was talking to the white people, you was speaking white,
Yes.
and when you got with your friends, which are black,
Right.
you was speaking black. So is that what code switching is?
Yes. And when you change, I think it's 100%.
So is that? I feel like that's inappropriate.
I don't think it's inappropriate. I have one of my best friends growing up was Jamaican, and he would, when he was around his parents, he was speaking patois.
Yeah, man.
But then around us, he spoke the urban Baltimore language that we spoke.
Yeah.
But I think he spoke that to his parents because it was easier for them
To understand. Because we had actually a homeboy at the church that used to do that. Like he would speak around us, I don't know what to call it, in regular Ebonics, I guess. I don't know. But then when he was on the phone with, like, you could tell when he was on the phone
For real.
with somebody from the islands or from Jamaica or whatever.
Wagwan.
Because he would like turn that thing on like a switch. That's like one of my favorite accents too. Like,
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Wagwan and all
it's
that.
respectful. I think it's not. I don't think it's disrespectful. I think it's what we.
Well, no, I don't think it's disrespectful. I think it's inappropriate.
I think it's what we supposed to do.
Like to get around white people and start talking white. I think that's controversial. Controversial in and of itself, because I definitely feel like there's a such thing as sounding white, and it's not the same as what people always say, like if you talk to a black person and you go, man, you sound white, they get offended and they go, oh, why? Because I'm speaking proper English, or because I'm speaking with intelligence. That's not what I'm talking about. When I say sounding white, I'm not talking about because you speak intelligently, because I know some people that speak intelligently, but they don't sound white. So I think sounding white, and I know y'all not questioning that.
No.
I just felt the need to, to clarify. When I say sounding white, I'm not talking about speaking properly, or I actually believe that I speak properly, but I don't talk white.
I can agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you speak.
I was looking for a bit of approval, brother.
I sensed it. You should have kept looking his way.
The poet. Why she about to say in an hour, man? My mustache look good.
Yeah.
Mr. Approval. It is starting to grow in though. You gonna look like daddy in soon, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh my
Follow the
goodness.
leader.
So,
But
so-
anyway,
If you gotta say you the leader,
bro,
I'm not the leader.
Dot,
you
dot,
not.
dot.
A lot of people like to think that, you know. Right? A lot of people like.
All
to think
right,
that.
all right. So code switching, because this to me this is really interesting, like code switching. So
So dig this.
okay,
Oh, my bad.
no, go.
So dig.
Don't come at me, bro.
No. I'm just thinking. Because you said code switching is inappropriate.
I feel that way.
Would you in a regular conversation on the regular, would you use nigga inside of the sanctuary? Have you ever did it?
Yes.
Okay. But do you do it on a regular?
Well, no. I don't do it on a regular. But
Would you?
I mean, I feel like a regular is like that's subjective. I think
Oh, here we go. Come on, bro. Don't give me that. That is not subjective.
a regular is not subjective.
You frequent the church, right?
Yeah.
Every week,
Every week.
twice a week.
Couple days out of the week.
So I use that word when I feel it's appropriate to use that word.
Okay.
If I feel that it is appropriate for me to use that word wherever, I'm going to use it.
But this is my thing. When you use it at the church, is it because you want to emphasize the fact that an individual is acting in a particular type of way?
Yes.
So, but
Usually,
that's,
when
but
I
that's-
use it, usually.
but that's not in regular conversation, bro.
Okay.
You feel me?
Okay.
Like you're pointing a behavior out in a funny
Okay.
manner. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
absolutely.
Like you're
That's-
pointing something out.
That is the way that I use it. That is the absolute way that I use it. I would say 100% of the time when I'm pointing out a behavior, whatever that behavior is, when I'm pointing that out or I'm addressing
That was way
somebody.
PC, y'all like that? That was PC right
Very
there.
much.
I know how to switch it, and I'll elaborate. But yeah,
All right.
Code switch for us. Come on, hit us. Hit us with it.
But so yeah, that's when I use it. So like I said, if I'm in the sanctuary and somebody come up to me and say something, I won't say out of pocket, but when somebody come up to me and say something that I feel is worthy, I'm gonna be like, nigga, did you just, you know what I'm saying? Or bro, yeah, like
but I'm
that's
saying in regular conversation. So every time you frequent the church, you know, my nigga, can you get that water from me?
no. I never use it that way though.
So
I never say it like that.
no.
Never.
All right. So, and my point ain't even asking that
Is what?
is because we can be conscientious of using it in certain environments, and it's not so much as a black or white thing, but just even like going to the church. You know what I'm saying? Like we wouldn't really use it frequently or even in that manner.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm? But and I was giving an example of code switching.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I
that's
was-
code switching. So the fact that I would never say it to Mother Rachel, and the fact that I would definitely potentially say it to one of y'all,
Not
Right.
potentially, because I'm not gonna just outright say it. But if y'all give me a reason to say it,
Yeah, I must give you a lot of reasons.
you see what I'm saying? Word. So what I'm asking is that's code switching?
Yeah.
My-
in a sense,
my-
yes. Yes.
In a sense, I believe it is necessary, and not so much that you gotta put on a front. It's just this group of people may not understand what up though, or what's the word. You know what? When I first moved out here, and I would say what's the word, people used to look at me like with
what-
the blank stare. What's
The word? Like the word?
I still do. I'll be like, what? Sorry, my bad. My
to
bad.
the point where like I knew in certain circles, like to eliminate me having to explain myself. How's it going?
Okay, right.
So it's not so much I'm trying to put on a front.
Right.
I'm just going to speak in a manner in which I know,
know
you
you
will
can
understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I can and dig this, I speak, at least I try to the best of my ability. I'm still intellectual with my partners, but you know sometimes saying it this way can reach their understanding quicker. When I want to make
Dumb it down. That's what you're trying. Did you just say dumb it down?
No, more concise.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Dumb it
Like,
down.
Potent.
No. Oh, I like potent better because it goes straight. It's like a heroin shot. It's going
Okay,
straight.
because you know what a heroin shot feels like.
No, just seeing the results.
You seen what a heroin shot feel like. Hello.
But make
Thing wake you out, don't it? You
No.
junkies get woke up.
That thing be like.
Oh no, I'm
that
thinking
thing
about what's
drag
the
you
other
out
thing
there,
they
yeah.
hit you when the ambulance pull up and they hit them and they
Oh, you
leaning.
talking about that adrenaline shot? I think that's what it called.
But I'm saying just straight to the point.
Yeah, I
So
get
you know, in certain circles,
You
you know,
funny, bro.
saying it this way, it gets straight to the point. Saying it this way, in this circle, it gets straight to the point.
Okay.
But it's not so much I have to put on this front, you know, in front of anybody because I'm not. I'm going to be sharp.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be firm.
Yeah.
All of that. And
I
regardless
guess
of where
that's what
stand.
I associate code switching with, because I don't think using a word or not using a word is code switching. I associate code switching with fronting.
Okay.
Now maybe I'm wrong.
But this is a thing. Because now we're just talking about one word
Yeah.
in particular.
Yeah.
But then we have to think about multiple words.
Like
there's certain phrases that people won't understand, like, to where you don't have to explain.
right,
That's
but what
one
I'm
thing.
saying is I don't think that's code. I just wouldn't call that code switching. Because I would merely just say that there's some phrases that people don't understand.
So what do you do as an individual to ensure that they understand?
I would explain it because my vernacular is my vernacular. Like okay, perfect example. When I leave, I manage group home for my regular job, and so every time when I leave the group home, I go and I work with all different types of all different ethnicities of people. And so when I leave the group home, I always say, almost probably like 95% of the time, I say, all right, y'all, I'm about to skate.
Yeah.
Now, I've been there for about 5-6 years. At first, people used to be like, what?
Oh yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then I would go, all right, I'm about to leave, right? So now I can be like, I'm about to skate, and everybody know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I don't switch it up. Like, even though I know everybody might not understand what I'm saying, I'm still gonna say it.
Yeah.
And if you got a question, then you just ask what it mean, and then I'll let you know what it mean. But I'm not gonna be like, all right, guys, I'm about to leave now, or something like that. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
and that's different. And I believe sometimes it comes with the experience. Like, you don't know, they don't know the term or
Right.
phrase until you actually say it and they
Yeah.
ask a question. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
It's things that I would say to my wife. Like, I don't think
Word.
about it. I just say it, and then
Exactly. That's
she
what
looking
I'm
at
saying.
me like, what does that mean? It's like, oh, snap.
So what I'm saying is, you talk how you talk, regardless. You just don't. I don't think about it. I say what I say.
I think we all change up, and I'm glad you
so,
use your
huh?
wife as an example because we code switch when we talk to our parents, then we talk to our homeboys, and then we
Okay.
speak with our spouse.
So I guess I just need to be clear as far as what code switching is. I think I get it.
You're talking about code switching as it pertains to dealing with people outside of our race. And that's what that's why you said we fronting, essentially. If we speak to people outside our race.
Thank you.
With them, what the heck are y'all doing?
My bad, bro. Nah, keep going.
He saw me struggling.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes we just code switch, but I wanted to get back what Rick was saying real quick. 'Cause in the same
Just
word,
you cut off your.
I couldn't hear. You cut my mic on?
No, you cut your
should, though.
sentence off.
Real, because my mind was just dropped when he
Yeah.
said this, and I'm like, I'm gonna get back in here.
All right,
You
go
know,
ahead.
double
What
dutch
did he
it.
say? What did he say?
In the sanctuary,
Oh, okay.
I don't necessarily say nigga regularly or in the sanctuary, but I think it's when you're in a certain place, you speak about what's going on in that place. When I'm at work or I'm in a work atmosphere, I'm speaking to, as it pertains to educational type of things because I'm dealing with them in that manner. Same thing if I was at church. We're not necessarily like, we joke and we we politic essentially, but we're not necessarily, that free to have conversations in the sanctuary, regularly. But when we in the Lot Cafe and we chilling, we ragging on each other, we going in.
I don't believe that's true.
Is that a thing though?
I don't believe that's
I don't
true.
think we normally say, but I feel like the way you were using the word nigga, I don't think any Christian man that has tried to correct their behavior still uses it in that way, speaking that way anymore, like so aggressively and so forward. So I think now more so we speak, like if we saying the N-word, we saying it like nigga you tripping, or like you wilding, but we say other words as well. I think the language have evolved in our culture so much where nigga is so obsolete. Like I feel like back in the day in the 90s,
obsolete or prevalent?
It's not prevalent anymore. Obsolete. I feel like we don't say.
I believe what makes it. I believe it being universal the way that it is.
Okay.
The Latinos, your student. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more prevalent than anything. But I just wanted to.
Sometimes, but I feel like we have adopted. Like when I was growing up, for black people to say bro was like, are you talking white? Because we was like bro, no bruh. No,
oh yeah.
It was just a big difference in the word, but now everybody say, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah, no.
And so like I think
true.
that word has
when
been
we said bro, when we was kids and we said bro, we was definitely imitating white boys.
Yes, for sure. In fact, I remember when one of my old heads, when I saw like the trend of bro coming to the hood, because it threw me off. And one of the old heads, he said it. Well, he wasn't old, but he was older than me. And it was like, okay, and I saw that trend. That was before 07.
Yeah,
so
facts. Yeah,
I saw that trend. But say what you saying, Mike. My bad.
I just don't think I think the language have evolved. So and we the type of people when people use first of all when they buried the word, a lot of black people was like I'm done with it, and when the black people
buried the word,
quote unquote.
That's so funny to me.
They
that's
geeks.
hilarious.
But when they quote unquote did whatever they thought they were doing, a lot of us started using it because we were so involved. But we so like sensitive now where if you say something that's offensive to everyone, you can't use it anymore. So when we're saying nigger or nigger, it's offensive to the people, so we don't use it. So some of the language that we use now is so PG and politically correct. It's like I don't think we talk like that anymore. Like it's not even a thing. I feel like other races use it way more than we do as black people. And we know that it's offensive, so we don't use it, but other races do.
But I think that's subjective. To say
offensive.
No. To say other races use it more than we do. I just what I think that has changed, like that whole dynamic of what you just said, is your environment. And when I say your environment, the people that you're around.
Okay, now here's where I will go with that. The environment has changed, and this is what I'll say. Where we're at, where we're from, I'll say, other races don't use it like that.
No.
On the West Coast, everybody is free to use it like that.
Pretty much.
That's what I'll say. I noticed that I've been here for 10 years now. Shout out to the month of July.
Real talk.
Been here for 10 years now, but I noticed that when I got out here that it was free. Like other races definitely had no issue using it, where back home white people wasn't using it like that. We have a huge Arab population. They weren't using it like that. Now you had your few that were, like you say, a part of the culture or grew up. We grew up together. You grew up next door to me and you would use it. And, you get that pass because we know you and you from our neighborhood. And so you use it. But as far as like everybody being like just being so comfortable with using it, I only see that out here.
But dig this, bro.
Bro.
And when I said it, I heard it.
Like,
that sounds funny. But Detroit is still one of the most segregated places.
Okay.
Even today.
I think the Midwest, huh?
Even we can say the Midwest. But when you go, and the reason why I'm actually, elaborating on
Specifying.
this, is because the West Coast, and we say California, is similar to the East Coast, say New York. Let me break it down.
Melting pot. Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead, bro.
No. That sums it up. Because in New York, even though they have Chinatown, they have Little Italy, you know what I'm saying? They have like these little areas. You could be in the Bronx, it'd be Latino, Black, Haitian, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's no telling who your neighbor is going to be.
Absolutely.
And just like in California, like that was like coming up and watching videos or movies and seeing neighborhoods and your neighbors are Mexicans and whites. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the neighborhood is different compared to the Midwest.
That's kind of like a culture shock. Seeing that on TV for me was like,
way
whoa, that's how it
such
is
a
out
culture
there
shock.
for real. Yeah.
So it's especially moving to Arizona. That was what blew your mind.
Yeah, definitely.
But my thing is like the Midwest, the way our neighborhoods are designed is still so segregated. We don't have all of those, you know, races and ethnicities in one block or in the neighborhood. Like,
That's
the Arabs, they may run a gas station, but
Yeah.
they don't live on the block.
Right. Facts.
They over 8 Mile. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like
Definitely.
they don't live in their neighborhood.
Shout out to Eminem, right?
No.
No, never mind.
So that's why I think it's still kind of
That's
different.
the only thing I know about Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, clear.
Mile.
And when you're on the outside looking it in, that's
what you know, because that's the movie you
Yeah.
saw, for sure.
Oh, BG was there. You know, didn't he go up
Yeah,
there?
Yeah,
BG
he was-
used to be in the
heavily,
city. Yeah.
heavily.
BG used to do
But I think
business in the city.
Chopper said.
Word.
But I think that's where like the difference, you know, come into play as to why, you know, we can see and hear, you know, other ethnicities or other cultures saying, you know, speaking our language, speaking the language.
Okay.
Whereas in Detroit, if you got one white boy in the neighborhood, like he's the only white boy, like probably 6 miles east, west, north,
Word.
and south.
Word.
6 mile radius.
I think that's
Wow.
it is a deeper topic, and I think when we hear this, we remove the fact that our neighborhoods were re-gentrified and we have been appropriate as a race. So then when you go into our race and our culture being taken over, and Lil Wayne is letting our culture, you know, he's rocking, you know, chains with skulls and all that stuff.
So
We're doing so
our
many different-
culture or the hip hop culture?
I know. I think they introduced black culture into the hip hop culture, and then
Okay.
they said that was the black culture. Black people were speaking a certain way before hip hop came out in the late 70s.
That is a fact.
So when I think about my grandparents or my uncles and so forth, the Cupid shuffle. I mean, what's the shuffle? You know how they used to dance and
Hustle?
The hustle. And I think about like how they used to, you know, go back and forth with what they call when they talking about the mama joke.
Oh, dozens.
The dozens and so forth. Like that was literally in our culture prior to hip hop. And we say, oh, that's the culture. But we had people that was put into power to say, this is black people. Use it, destroy it, and make it seem bad. And then that's the black culture. Hip hop is not the black culture. Hip hop, a lot of black people did hip hop. But that's like
a lot of black people are a part of the hip hop culture.
hip hop culture. But that's not. I mean, a lot of black people was a part of rock, but now we look at rock and we say it's white music.
Yeah, it's women.
But it's not. I mean, who created it? Blues. I mean, so many different things. We gotta. So I think about now, since we're so prisoners of the time, we're not accepting the fact that our culture was taken over and people pulled out of our culture what they wanted. You know, in each city, like Rich just said, and I'm like, man, that's so crazy. We had at 7-Elevens or corner stores, we had the Asians or the Arabs in our immediate neighborhood.
Yeah.
And they would,
Didn't
some
even
of them that
live
went
there.
to school with us, they would say some of the stuff. I'm like, all right, they live here with us, so that's okay. Or they work in the neighborhood. You know, the Asian man rushing you out the store and they using, come on, brother, like how we would say it, trying to rush you out the store or using. You like, y'all all say rush hour.
Yeah.
And he seen them.
Oh,
seen,
yeah.
He
Jackie
seen him
Chan.
walk
That's
in,
one of my favorite scenes.
and he was
too.
like, "What up, my nigga?
What's up, my
What
nigga?"
up?" And so he started like, "Okay, that's how they speak to each other. Let me do it because I want to be accepted in that culture."
with
because-
foreigners, a lot of times with foreigners, it is innocent. I've heard foreigners say that they learned how to speak English from watching movies in their country, from watching like American movies in their country, like Menace to Society or Boys in the Hood or Rush Hour even. So they learned like how to speak English, so it's natural, and they don't even mean it in like any type of way. Honestly, they just hear that's how Americans talk. They think that's how Americans act. So you put your hat on backwards, you wear Air Force Ones, you sag your pants. Right. You know what I'm saying? And this is what it is. So I think with foreigners, a lot of foreigners, it's very innocent. Yeah, to an extent,
and it's a long-standing thing. I think about the movie Remember the Titans, or old school movies about the Temptations or the Five Heartbeats, when they would take us singing and put white people on the front of the CD cases
on the movie
and like,
covers.
this is what you
said the CD cases.
You
funny.
The albums,
the album covers. Yeah.
They would do that type of behaviors. They would to let them to welcome in. And I remember the guy from Remember the Titans, big fat black white guy. He was singing. And everybody knew the song, and he would, he was able to jive with us because he knew how we got down. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people try to jive with us because we're welcoming people, and everybody can be welcome into our culture if you can speak the language.
Okay, so how does that pertain to the N-word? Everybody can be accepted in our culture if you speak the language.
Like, you won't hear no Jewish person. They use little, words towards each other. But if I'm not Jewish, I can't just hop in their culture and say
certain words.
Whatever word.
Whatever they say, I have no idea what the Jewish equivalent.
Well, Hispanic people, like, let's say we were fluent in Spanish. I'm not, you wouldn't be walking.
Mijo. Is that little brother?
Son.
Little son? Oh. Something like that?
No, I blow Spaniel.
What's cousin then?
I don't know, bro.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought I was saying.
Like, we walk, you don't hear me. It is not cool to walk up. What up, K Paso? What?
That means,
what up, K Paso? You literally just said, what up? Yeah.
Because we're not speaking, people don't know what the word means. We let the negative definition become the definition.
Okay.
Like Andrew said earlier, it means ignorant. So the negative definition became the word. When to us, what up, nigga? What up? What does it mean to you when I say that? It doesn't mean my ignorant person.
Right.
To you, so is that the definition? Literally, is the ignorant person the definition? If when I use it towards you, you don't take it as that's the definition. They just take our language and they give their own definition to it, people, and they say that's the way it is. That's the way it should be.
So let's go to this next thing. Since you said that, let's segue into should other ethnicities, is it appropriate for other ethnicities to use it? It sounds like you're saying no.
I would say 100% not. 100% not. If you're not black, you shouldn't use black language.
It's not black language.
Why not? No, now why is it not black language? Why not to you? Why shouldn't you use it? Why shouldn't they use it?
Because you literally don't know what you're saying. And just like I just now said, what's up in two different languages. If I don't speak the language, I probably shouldn't try to dibble and dabble in the language.
So what if they feel like they do know what they're saying?
You don't speak the language.
Just because you know don't mean you do. Or just because you think you know don't mean you know. Don't say it.
Because some things like, the nigga word is a contents word. So context. Mm-hmm. Like Bernie Mac said in his skit, the word MF has so many different meanings. The same thing about nigga, it has so many, it is literally in the way you use it, in the context you're speaking about. And you can literally find yourself going so far off path because you believe you know what the word means, and you can say something that's extremely offensive, and you don't know what we get offended by. Saying monkey anything about black person is offensive. But if you say, man, nigga, that monkey, that girl got on the red monkey, like, we don't know how we would feel. Like, watch yourself. You literally don't speak the language to be doing just anything.
Word.
I
almost feel like telling you to watch yourself just then. Like, oh, bro, what are you doing right
now? We was recording.
Yeah, word.
No, I ain't gonna go out of pocket.
No, for sure. I'm joking anyway. What was you about to say, bro? You forgot.
Yeah, I went on a tangent. My bad.
No, you good. I still think it boils down to like the relationship of the individual. I really don't. it's really like a rarity for someone, you know, outside of your race to just walk up to you in a normal conversation to be like, yeah, nigga, it's hot than a mug out here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's something that's really a rarity. That's rare. It never really happened to me, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's never happened to me. That's
So-
never happened to me.
I'm with you.
But my thing is, it boils down to the relationship, because after you build the relationship with someone, you know, in a different race,
Mm-hmm.
at some point you will be able to say, no, don't say it around me,
Right.
or it's whatever.
That's
I
what I'm
would
saying.
say-
that's 100%. That's
I
my
would
question
say
to
at
you.
some point they push the envelope. I don't
What you
know.
want?
I don't know what it is, and it's not even only with nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like
But
they
Dick-
push the envelope
Take this, and I don't think
to
it's
see what they
always
can get away with.
right, but I don't think it's always like that. I believe like sometimes, excuse me, like we're in Arizona, melting pot for everything now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't say nothing.
no, I'm just thinking, just thinking. So they say you attract the type of people you are,
Facts.
Okay.
I think that's a fact.
and it is. So your language doesn't just consist of nigga, like it's a variety of
Word.
slogans,
Verbiage. Yeah.
phrase,
Yeah.
variables.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The language is the behavior. You know what I'm saying? In fact, for us to even still be vibing with one another, we must be speaking the same language anyways. So it's not like they have to try to push the envelope. It's like we already, in some cases, like we already speak. We're speaking the same thing already now. And like I said, it's going to happen when you speak the same language, or you know, you understand one another, or y'all vibe and whatever you want to use. It's going to come up. It's going to come up. Either cats never say it, which is cool, or they say it, you got an issue with it, then you know it's up to you. You don't, it's up to you. But it's not so much like when we say we speak in this language, like that word, that doesn't encompass the language.
for
You know what
sure,
I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Like it's so many other variables that solidify whether or not we're speaking the same language.
I can dig that.
I think when I say push the envelope, sometimes I think it's on purpose. Sometimes I definitely think
Sometimes.
it's like not on purpose. I'm not gonna say a mistake. Maybe a mistake, but I don't know. I just feel like
Sometimes you could tell somebody's forcing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it didn't even sound right.
yeah, and like I said, I'm not only speaking of of nigga. I'm just saying like period. Like whenever two different races interact, and it could be just for like a couple minutes. Like we just meet each other, we have a conversation, we click on that conversation, and then we start talking. In my experience, the envelope is potentially going to get pushed. An example is it was teacher night, and I might even be tripping for this. Like y'all might be like, bro, that's not what happened, but this is how this is what I feel happened. Teacher night at my son's school. We meet all the teachers, and we was meeting with the English teacher or the math teacher. I can't remember which one. But in a lot of classrooms that we were going to, it was multiple teachers in there.
Yeah.
And they was like, well, she's the teacher in this class, but I teach this grade math, and we'll do the whoop. So we was in there, and that had happened. And so the teacher introduced herself to my son. He introduced himself to her. And the other teacher, her colleague, looked at him and was like, she was like, what sport do you play? You play sports, don't you? Right? So immediately, I'm in my head, I turn and look at my wife like, for real? Like, she's like, what sport? Because I know you play sports. And he's like, yeah, I play He's like, yeah, I play sports. I play basketball. She's like, you gotta play football. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Now, like I said, maybe I'm tripping. I think I'm bugging for that.
No.
Cause I really think like that was like an envelope. Like she pushed that envelope because when we came in there, we was cordial, we was nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm David. This is Portia.
Yeah.
This is our son. Woo-de-woo-de-woo. We was cool. And then immediately she looked at him and went, I know you play sports. Immediately I was like, whoa, like you are wilding right now for
For
that.
it to
Like,
be the first thing.
I felt like she was wilding.
But you ain't tell the audience that he was wearing a jersey.
He wasn't wearing a jersey.
He had on basketball
He
shorts.
definitely did not have on basketball shorts.
And
He's a tall kid.
That's all.
He's 11 and he's tall. I guess he's tall for 11.
Now I got something for you.
Okay.
And that situation is interesting, bro.
I
For that to be the
definitely-
very
I
first
felt-
thing.
And I wasn't really offended because I don't get offended. Remember what you're about to say, because another thing that just popped into my head when my daughter was a baby, she had this beautiful dark skin. Like her skin was flawless. And I mean, obviously it is. Now she's lightened up a little bit, but it was beautifully flawless, dark skin, right? And we was in Walmart one time, and this older white lady came up to her and was like, oh my God, her skin is so beautiful. And she took her back of her hand right here and rubbed it up against her cheek.
Oh, Lord.
And I had to like take her hand, and I was like, thank you, and grabbed her hand and, you know, calmly pushed it, you know what I'm saying? Like moved it to the side. And I looked at my wife like, babe, did you just see what happened? Like, whoa, I wasn't offended. I wasn't offended.
But it was
that's what I'm talking about,
inappropriate.
like pushing that envelope. Like,
Well, you know now,
Why
you about
you-
to make me forget.
Dang,
But I gotta
please
say
remember.
this, like, for one, when you're dealing with any elder, they feel like they can do any
Yeah,
and
for
everything.
sure.
For sure.
boom.
And it doesn't have to be like they're being inappropriate.
No, but
or
it's their
disrespectful.
envelope.
But they're going-
Elders are habitual
Line
line
steppers.
facts.
100%.
Period.
All elders, and
Without-
that's not just
without
white
trying.
people. Yeah,
Without trying.
absolutely.
So, you know, her doing that, I can do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. I don't mean anything by it. You feel me?
Right.
But I understand when you come, I feel the same way. Like, no, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
You can
Like,
be 20 years
hold
old.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
back up. Like,
Yeah. Like, whoa.
but now, dig this
Okay.
question.
You had a question? Yes.
And we all just know this is it's something that we see big out here. Like, I ain't gonna even say it like
Say
that.
it.
Okay, no. I'm gonna say it like this. You see a dude that's in high school,
Mm-hmm.
big dude,
Mm-hmm.
6 foot, maybe 250, 3. You can't tell me you ain't never say, bro, you play football? Play football?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell
For
me
sure.
you ain't never seen like one of like Samoans out here like,
For
bro.
sure.
You play
Mixing apples
football?
and oranges, though.
Is he
No,
mixing
hold on,
apples and
let me
oranges?
know. You can answer. Just answer my question. Have you guys ever done that?
Yes.
So with the
No,
Samoan,
Not that way.
have
I
you
think what
ever? No.
you're mixing
But let
apples
me
and
ask
oranges.
him. Let me ask him. Because
Don't
there
mix
was-
the apples and oranges because you're going to get him to say something that's not the same.
No. It's 2 different races.
I get that.
So hold on, bro. Relax.
I'ma be quiet.
Relax. Yeah. Be quiet all the way. So have you ever seen
Be tripping.
one of the Samoans, high school, whatever? Oh, you play football? Oh, you ain't never think it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So now dig this. For that now again, I disagree. Like for that to be the first thing this lady say, like off jump. But I know well, I can't say I know for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've bumped into a Samoan like, bro, what sport do you play?
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
and it's not like a racial thing. It's like, dude, you're huge.
Well, I feel like it's a racial thing because you specifically said Samoan.
Well, the only reason why I use that is because we're dealing with 2 different variables in
and-
your story.
yeah,
2
and-
different races.
Right. And
That's the only reason why I said it.
and
If they were black, I'd say the same thing.
yeah, the answer is definitely yes, which is why, and I always do this too. Like I always be like, man, am I bugging? Like, am I tripping?
Let me say this to
Because
y'all.
maybe I'm a little offended.
You act
maybe-
100% right. You didn't
What?
get out of pocket.
What's
No.
the difference between both scenarios?
I want to say this first.
No, what's the difference
But
between both?
you can't control me on how I want to speak.
No.
I got 2 things I want to say on this.
What's the difference? You disagree with it. What's the difference? And just remember your
I
thought.
mean, just tell me how to talk. Go ahead.
Okay.
Man, hold on.
Like,
I mean, I'm gonna say,
let's be
you
mature
said
about
hush
it.
now.
No,
I'm being very
no,
mature.
Let's be mature about it. Like,
I think there's a difference. The difference that that I was articulating to you were that when us that are from that culture, and when you talk about Samoans as well, we know
we're from the same culture.
No, we're not from the same culture, but we know what to say and what not to say, and we know how to approach people. What she was trying to do was she was trying to find a way in to communicate with him. She was trying to make him feel comfortable, and the way she knew how to speak to black people to make us feel comfortable was to bring up the jargon of sport. And when we think about Samoans, we literally, most black people, if we see somebody that look different than we do, where you from? We ask those type of questions. We don't immediately go into the stereotype of what the people do. So when you say that, and when I said it was two different things, we don't immediately go up to people, black people, and overall. I'm not saying 100%, but majority of us, when we go up to people, we're not coming up saying, "You're white. You're a lawyer. What do you do lawyer at?" We don't do that.
You're a lawyer. You gotta be.
We don't literally just go
know
that
law.
way. We don't do that.
But we do look at Asians and go, you
can't
know
drive.
karate. See, look, you foul. He said you can't drive.
Put it in perspective.
You're wild.
You may not, and I honestly disagree. I don't think
you disagree with what?
And I'm about to say it. I definitely believe that you seen a Samoan and be like, "Dang, you play football." Even if you didn't say it, I know you thought it.
I have never been that way. Not me personally, because I don't even do that. I literally when I meet a person, I always want to know.
You don't have to meet a person. I'm talking about when you look at a person, it's just us.
Like how big a person is.
Like we judge just being human.
Right, but it
doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
That's not
so the moral of the story is I am bugging.
No,
like I'm tripping.
Look, man,
because you were talking about you're not talking about what he's using is an analogy.
So what's
of
the
saying
difference between the two scenarios?
I literally just said it. You're not even trying to hear me. You're talking about
trying to.
You're not, because I said it so clearly.
Make the point.
The point is you're talking about saying something in your mind as opposed to speaking something.
No, we
Do you
said
understand
it.
He was saying both. He was saying
but
like
he
saying
just
it in your mind and saying it out
and
loud.
I'm saying no, we don't. I don't do that personally. And
So you know what Dave said he did.
Okay, but also what I was speaking about is the thing that what Dave was saying, and as a black man that has a family here, I see myself going out a lot. And when my wife and I are in the grocery store, in the mall, I see white people say, "Your family looks so beautiful." Like we're on a exhibit at a zoo or something.
Oh my goodness!
Bro, you tripping, bro.
No,
you're
like
tripping right now, bro.
No,
You're tripping, man.
Bro,
I have heard. Listen, I have heard.
You're tripping, bro.
I'm telling you what I have heard.
Bro.
I'm not asking for you to give me your opinion on it. I'm just saying what I said.
You're taking stuff way too personal, bro. Way too personal.
Listen, if you want to tell me what I'm taking, then we could do that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to speak for me, and then you can speak for yourself, because I'm a grown man, just like you are, and I'm going to be respectful to you.
We recognize that
you're a grown man.
We all being respectful.
No, we're not being respectful. But
we are. Hold on.
We're going to address what needs to be addressed. Well, I'm just speaking about.
We definitely are all being respected.
We can. I
want to say this.
Wait,
go ahead.
So you're not being respected?
I'm saying what I was stating to you guys.
No, so you're not being respected.
What I was stating to you.
Okay.
Was that I feel when we go out and my family are when other people from the white race speak to us, they're trying to find a way to make us feel comfortable and make themselves come in and be able to communicate with us. And your family's very beautiful. I'm not saying in a negative connotation or whatever, but the way it makes you feel like what?
Like you're an exhibit.
I don't feel like I'm
zoo.
in an exhibit.
Well, do you have little kids, and do they talk about your little kids?
Well, man, my bad.
Yeah, exactly. Being disrespected. That's the way you were already trying to speak to me.
No,
But
relax.
that's what you were doing. But I'm just saying. Listen. I didn't say this. But what you just now did was say me and my lady, and I didn't say. When Rick and Jasmine go out, this is how they get looked at. I said my family.
No, this is what I'm saying. No. Look, I'm saying we get complimented by, we done been complimented by various races. And I didn't feel like I'm in an exhibit. I don't need kids to feel that way. Your perspective on how they're looking at you is your perspective. But I don't believe.
What was I speaking on?
You said you felt like it was
my perspective, right?
Right. That's okay. But this is my thing. And our opinion of your perspective is you being too personal. You're taking it too personal.
But did you even let me finish my perspective? Because I didn't even get to say the whole thing before y'all was jumping down my throat. So I ain't even got nothing to say no more.
No, hold on a second. Just hold on a second. Because look.
Oh man.
That definitely what I did not expect to hear you say, like an exhibit at the zoo. That was wild. When you said that, that was wild. None of us are discounting that you feel that way. I think the reaction, because I just didn't expect to hear that. You wild. And I definitely think, and like I said, when I brought this up, am I bugging? Because maybe I was. You said I'm not. I think you feel like I was bugging.
Yeah, and it's not because I'm being disrespectful. Like
No.
because he used that term.
I didn't say about him.
Wait, hold on. Us being able to talk. Like if you can't take criticism or your brother's opinion, then you definitely gonna take somebody else's opinion personal. We just telling you our perspective on your perspective.
But what was my perspective?
You felt
like you felt like an exhibit at the zoo. Because
but that's not what I was saying. Literally, when you guys gave me a chance to speak again, then I was able to elaborate. So I literally said they were trying to find a way in. What your point was is the teacher wanted to find a way to say something to Jalen.
Yeah, we heard that point. I agree. I actually agree with that point that they're trying to find a way in.
Now dig this. I gotta say this, bro, and I promise. And I see you pointing your finger. I just gotta say this. It's good. It's good stuff. Good dialogue. Now you being
this is great dialogue.
A sociology major and a psychology major. That's something we as humans do.
What?
The study of people and the study of a person, we try to find a way in.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be something negative, but I've been in job interviews with a brother and, they immediately speak in a certain way, so I understand that, oh, yeah, they that type of brother. We cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I didn't take it no way. It's just they trying to find a way in. You know what I'm saying?
In trying to, because here's where I think, here's where I want to go with it. In trying to find a way in, you can push the envelope, step over the line.
For sure.
Right. Be racially inappropriate.
For sure, but this is my thing. My whole
and
point.
make you feel like you would exhibit that too. That is so funny.
But that's why I brought up the scenario with the Samoan. Like, I didn't have to say one thing to them. What up, bro? You play sports, don't you? You on the football. And it's nothing like, not in a negative tone. It's just like, man, honestly, to make a joke, like, bro, you play sports.
Sometimes you could push the envelope and not know it. Sometimes you can be racially inappropriate and not know it.
For sure. I was just getting a haircut the other day.
So do you think that you have, like, in assuming that a big Samoan brother plays football, do you think that that's you pushing the envelope and being racially inappropriate without because obviously you're not on purpose.
Right, for sure. And
so it could be that.
It could be. It depends on that individual's, their opinion of it. Now, if someone's felt some type of way and they, address me as so, then it's up to me. Yeah, I'm going to apologize.
So you mean to tell me? Let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
When you mean to tell me when people look at you and Jasmine and y'all out together, you don't believe they're looking at you and
I don't look at it like that, bro.
I'm
looking at you as what?
See?
Just say it, bro. Come on.
You don't think people look at you as two black people and saying they look good together because of your look?
What else are they basing it off of? I don't know how to. I don't understand the question. Like, I think it's based off the look, brother.
Right. And what do you look like? What is your look?
The look. So you
got a nice haircut.
Hold on, yeah. So you're saying it's based off the look as far as like we look fly, and we getting a compliment.
Obviously, we're black. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that's obvious. Like, I'm not thinking when I get the compliment.
You're not thinking. That's what I'm saying. You're looking at it like we look fly. Yeah, we do look fly. You're saying looking at it like. Look at those black people. Look at those.
They do wear nice clothes.
Right. They do dress nice.
The
pants are not sagging or anything.
Blacks clean up well.
Yeah.
They're coming to the same restaurant.
I have literally heard.
They let the niggers in.
Oh no!
I have literally heard when my family's out. Hey, your children are so well behaved.
Now that's what I thought you were gonna say, and I was actually gonna agree with you because that's another one that it doesn't necessarily offend me, but it makes me and my wife look at each other and go,
Why?
for real?
Can I
Hey,
ask-
no,
can
because
I-
if you look to the left side, you're gonna see them kids climbing on the table.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
So heck
And it
no.
doesn't matter. And it doesn't
But
matter
it
what
does.
race it is. It
But
doesn't
I'm
matter what
just
race
saying,
it is.
it definitely makes me feel, like I said, that's what I thought you was gonna say.
I feel like Drew about to anchor it, bro. He about to.
No.
So
this,
when you,
this is
so when you went exhibit, I gotta keep saying that because that was hilarious.
That's
to me.
how I feel.
And no, and I'm not. I would never discount, and none of us were not discounting that. That's how you
It's
feel.
your feeling.
That reaction that we gave you was just like, bro, you wilding. Like, I think you wilding for that. But no one's discounting. That's how you feel.
But you're allowed to. This is the thing. This is a great thing about being adults and everything. We understand that you're gonna have your opinion about whatever it is that you feel like is happening to you, but we're still allowed to have the opinion that you're tripping.
and that's what I look to my peers. That's what I look to my peers for. That's why when I prefaced it with maybe I was tripping and maybe y'all could tell me if I was, because and like I said, with the whole man, they were so well behaved. I just I could be tripping, but
You're
I
right.
feel like that. I'm
You
right.
definitely-
What?
They
I'm
are
tripping.
well behaved because they know if they don't,
They're
get
gonna
away
get
Yeah,
with
they
it.
gonna get this.
So, like, see, I'm beyond. I'm beyond.
beyond
all
that.
and not like I'm not trying
No,
to belittle
bro.
nobody. 'Cause I know-
No,
look,
we're not. Stop.
But that stuff, like,
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I've been dying to push that button.
But,
Y'all wild out on each other right quick.
You know,
I
he
thought I
tried
was
to-
gonna have to hit the bell.
He tried to tell me hush like I'm a little. Then he called me a woman. He tried to tell me I'm
He
not.
did not call you woman.
it was an accident.
He's like, lady, I'm like, look, I ain't know.
Bro.
Come on, man.
Now you taking
was-
it.
it
now
was
you-
an
I hope
accident.
you're joking right now.
No,
I
he
hope-
was like,
I hope-
hush.
I hope
What's
you're
your
joking.
sign?
He's like, hush, woman.
What's your sign, bro?
Negro.
No, that is a joke. We don't do signs. We don't do astrology, but definitely.
But no, I'm
you
like.
you be wilding on all fronts. you
I'm
be wilding,
beyond
bro.
that, dog. Yeah, when I go out, when me and the lady go out, in fact, I let her know. No, you ain't going out the house like that. You with me.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, get
You have
fly.
to do You have to do
I
that.
feel
No,
like
take-
you just.
You have to
Did
do
you
that.
just
What?
take some shots at your lady?
No. Hear me out.
Hit it again. I felt it.
Hey, it is what it is. You can take it however you want to take it. But I hit my lady, no, you ain't going out with me with
Looking
something
like-
on your head.
yeah.
No. If you gotta have it wrap it and let it go. If you can't comb it
It's
out.
decorative wraps though, like
It's
a
decorative,
Erica
but we know
Badu
We
joint.
know the wraps that I'm. If you sleep in it, you
Oh,
ain't
okay,
gonna walk
okay,
outside
okay.
with it on.
You
Yes,
don't
sir.
need
that's,
to.
And
Yes, sir.
that's me. That's
sir.
me. I'm
Yeah.
look. If we go anywhere, yeah,
Word.
you gonna look good. I'm gonna look good,
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna make
Get
sure
fly.
my lady looking good
Yes,
too.
sir.
Get fly.
She's a
And-
representation of you.
Better than you.
Matter of look, hey,
Get fly.
hey, she got me.
Hello.
But this
Wait,
is
what does that mean?
she got me because you look good.
Oh, where
you
you
go.
are an accessory.
Hey, you can call me whatever,
Accentuation.
brother. We two individuals, brother.
Accent.
Let me tell you, we complement one another.
Hello.
Okay, we on the same tie, but two different colors. Look, okay,
On the same time.
Y'all
On
got
the same tie.
black
like
and
a
gray.
Tide Pod.
Black and gray. You see that tie right there?
Oh,
We
tie. I thought you
tie.
said Tide.
Oh,
I
tie.
say like Tide Pods. That's
No,
like
tie. That happens later.
Now, let me say this to
Bro.
y'all real quick. 'Cause y'all
Well,
be tripping.
later.
When you look at a relationship, and we all do, I think I agree with you, Rick, in the sense that we all judge people when we look at them. And we see an interracial couple, we look at them like, okay, we looking at them. We like, okay, he a black brother, he got a white sister. When we see a black brother and he got a sister, we like, oh, he got a black sister. It's just what we do.
is that an issue with
It's not
any
an
of y'all?
issue. That's a conversation for another day. But
All
I
right.
drink to
Shots
that.
fired. I heard that.
I drink to that.
All right.
So no, no, I don't.
No, don't just go with what you was about to say.
Yeah, say it.
What
I
was you
just
about to say?
Y'all be.
I'm
Y'all
sorry.
threw me
No,
off now.
I'm not. Look,
We can laugh. Just say
I know
it.
I'm with it. I'm just saying when we look at each other and we look at people out, I'm more likely to like, oh, that's a nice black couple when I see them.
okay.
And it don't matter if they're two light skinned black couple or two dark black couple. It's just the way we look at them.
Okay.
And The same thing when I look at, black people when they have their children controlled, as well as if I see white people when they have children controlled. I'm just not willing to speak on that.
Okay, that's what I hear. That's what I heard you saying, because before you talked about the thought of it versus speaking it out loud. Yeah. So obviously it's okay to say it or think it, but what you're saying is think it all you want. Right. Just don't come up to me and say it. That's how you feel.
That's 100% how I feel. Because not every opinion is warranted. And so what you think
warranted.
Of me, warranted.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Because I don't like what you think of my family and my family being nice behaved. Like, speak to me. If you want to talk to me, talk to me. Come at me. Yeah. But don't come at me trying to find a way in and you're using something that's.
Could you be overreacting?
I believe not. I believe you're over. I think you don't have to use a ploy to try to have a conversation with people. And I think that's what people get into so much, where I don't understand this culture, so I'm going to say something to make them feel like I'm a part of that culture. That's better just speaking to them.
My way in.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Sometimes I don't think it's that deep. I don't think that a person, like a white person, is like, oh, let me find a way to speak to Andrew and his wife.
Yeah, I
think that people just out of a sense of just wanting to have some type of engagement towards a person, the first thing that they see or the first thing that they might think could come to their head, and sometimes they may not be thinking, they're just like out of slip out of their mouth, and then maybe to themselves they may be kicking themselves in the head like, maybe that did sound a little bit going too far.
Right. So I definitely do. I hear what you're saying, but I think that is trying to find a way in. Now, I don't necessarily think that it's a conscious thing. That's what kind of what I'm speaking of. I don't think it's like a conscious thing. Like, man, what's going to be my way in? How am I going to get a way in?
Talks like that.
Like Rick said, that's what we all do.
Yeah.
That's what conversation is.
Right.
You find your way in.
You find your way in.
Like when I see a Hispanic person, in my mind, I'm not being racist or nothing like that. I assume that they know.
He's about to get
No.
I feel like he's
about to be racist.
Go ahead.
I agree with you already. I feel like you're about to go racist.
Go ahead, bro. Say it.
I assume that, like, I work on a construction site.
Uh-oh.
A lot of Hispanics. I assume that they know how to speak Spanish. So when I greet them in the morning, when I greet them in the morning, I say, "¿Qué paso?" Like, what's up? What's going on? That's what I do, bro. That's what I do. That's what I do. But
that's racially
inappropriate.
I feel like that's racially inappropriate.
100%.
No, it's not.
But do you already have do you already have a relationship with these individuals?
No, because if you did, you would know whether or not they speak English. If you got a relationship, right?
Speak Spanish.
That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. If you had a relationship, you would know whether or not they spoke Spanish. So all of these, no, that's not a thing.
I feel, hey, look, I'm with you to an extent, bro, because you can't just walk up to any.
I think the moral of the story is
I'm racist.
We are all have been racially inappropriate.
For sure, and okay.
Because usually when you start a phrase off, no, we're saying like, and I'm not being racist.
Yeah, off top.
With all due respect.
Or yeah. Like, no disrespect, but I'm about to disrespect you in 5, 4, 3.
But you never know how people want to take it. People, people sensitive. But
facts. People are sensitive.
But this is what
I think
was
rightfully
say.
so sometimes too.
And for sure, I hear you.
Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I want to. This is the last thing. I just wanted to respond to what Mike stated as far as compliments goes. Like, I make it a point to compliment people throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. You do that.
I'll be at the park and I see a father with his son, and man, you're a good father. I don't need to know nothing about the man. I don't need nothing. I don't need no backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need your name.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you're a good father.
And it doesn't matter what color they are.
Doesn't matter. You got a newborn baby. She's adorable. I don't need her name. I don't need none of that. This the last time I'm gonna see you. You know what I'm saying? So
have you ever witnessed she's adorable? It's a he. Have you ever had that?
No, because you're not looking at the context clues. If you and when
No, you could mistake.
you
Yeah, they got
That's-
boys in
that's true.
turquoise and like
Yeah, you could
barely
mistake.
looking
Well,
pink now.
being out and about-
That was like a
Joe get it every
ha ha
time,
ha.
girl.
You should have
You
laughed
got
when
three
I said that. You
girls.
probably should. I feel like
yeah, but that was a serious thing. That was a real thing. That was a real thing, bro. But my thing is, like, it's nothing wrong with complimenting. Am I here for the compliments, but will I receive them?
Yeah.
You know, like, bring them on. But I say that from a standpoint, I make it a point to compliment. We bash on one another, but first thing I saw you this morning, and you thought I was about to say something crazy, I was like, man, that's a nice tie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still try to be, complimentative or complimentary.
Hello, no, complimentary, brother.
Complimentative. I still try to
that a
do
word?
that.
Hello, Webster. No, it's not.
No.
But
no, it's
it's
not.
I was
good.
just about to say.
But it was good. He used it.
Put it in the dictionary.
It sounded good, huh?
Complimentative.
But I try to make it a point to compliment people regardless to anything, and that's just me. That's just me. I see the results of a compliment. I know the benefits of building up an individual. So it's like all that deep stuff, like exhibits and, they well behaved. Yeah, they better be.
Yeah, right.
And I'm happy you recognize that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's good for someone, I don't care what race they are, for them to be able to recognize that your child is well behaved and not because they're doing, something special. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that they're able to see clearly. Like, you don't have to, when I say something special, you didn't have to say anything. It's just their mannerism. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're able to tell, yeah, they better, because if you don't,
That you know what? That's literally what my father would say. Like, and then he was joking, like ha ha ha, in front of them. But he was like, "Yeah, you already looking at us, like you already know what's gonna go down. If you go ahead and act up." But he's like, "Yeah, they better, because they already know what's gonna
for
happen."
real. So that's a compliment.
but thank you.
Take it for what it is.
It's a such thing as a compliment as opposed to things that are said because of your race. And I hear what you're saying, and I can agree with you.
I don't think people said that
Okay.
to my parents because we were black, bro.
Well, I mean, what we're speaking on is what I think as opposed to knowing. And I'm saying to me,
all right, bro.
okay, you speaking and I'll speak after you. Because what I was stating was simply to me was I feel like when those statements are made, you can see a couple right in front of you, and that statement wasn't made to that couple, and their children are being well behaved as well. Now, what I'm telling you is when I go to events, it's not like I just take my kids to the grocery store and say parade them. We go to family events where multiple families are there, Hispanic, white, black, and, kids can be acting up, but it could be Hispanic kids acting well as well. And you don't hear them say, you have a nice behaved family.
So what?
And I'm just
But
telling you.
So what, bro?
I hear you.
You hear it specifically with your family.
And I have heard, and I have been in conversations with other black people that also have stated in that same contents, without me bringing this up, stated that I have been in like Walmart or at an event, and they're like, if your children are well behaved, just like Andrew said, that his father would hear it, and we make like, oh, ain't nothing because of your race. It's okay if you say it because of my race. I agree with you, Rick, when you're stating that this compliment is good or whatever. But we can also say they are saying that to me because of my race and not be an issue. Like, we act like because I'm saying they saying it because it's my race, that's
But
a bad.
it kind of sounds like you are, though.
Why though? Why put that added pressure on you for nothing?
No,
So
I don't
that's
take it
added-
as added pressure. I take it as our culture and what we must act like. My children better act a certain way, and they better respect the fact that they're black, and they're going to go out and act a certain way. My
Yeah,
parents
they
told me
went somewhere.
growing up, they told me, you're a black man, you already got a strike against you. Go out with some decorum. Go outside and speak well when you speak to people. Speak well to the officers. Speak well when you're outside because you're black. So when my children act a certain way in the store, they're not just getting that compliment because they're a child. They're getting that compliment because they're a well-behaved black child, and that's how they're supposed to act to me as their raiser. I'm going to teach them that that's what they're supposed to do, because we are judged a certain way just because we look. And
So with that being said, you probably shouldn't be offended.
I'm
when
not.
they-
I'm
not.
man, the
I
biggest-
just said because we're exhibit don't mean I'm offended by it. It just
Oh,
mean
okay,
I'm
okay.
recognizing the fact that is because
that it
that's
makes
the
you
reason.
feel like an exhibit at the zoo.
And that's the reason. Yeah.
Wait, so
Okay.
being an exhibit, having this feeling of being an exhibit at the zoo, doesn't make you
Does not
feel
offend you.
offended?
No, not at all. Because
confused,
black
bro.
people are an exhibit of in the world. We people. I just now was talking about in the beginning that they have took our culture and use it. So I didn't say, oh, I feel bad because they stole our culture. Everybody uses it. What I'm trying to say is, just because something is a fact doesn't make it change.
Me being on display like an animal in the zoo.
Would
That's
offend
offensive
you.
to me. That's offensive.
Okay.
You guys look good. That's a compliment to me.
Everybody go to the zoo. It's obviously a good reason to go to the zoo. Well, you know, and I.
Oh man.
I mean, I just feel like what we do is like you're right. I might be taking it. I might be going overboard, or I might be sensitive in a sense.
Yeah,
but
and hey, like I said,
Be you, bro. Be you.
I'm being me.
I
you.
agree. I agree with you that. I mean, man, I started this conversation saying like I felt some type of way, and then gave the whole face rub, gave the whole what I thought you was gonna say about as far as like when your kids are being well behaved, and you know the family of the other race comes and goes, oh my God, they are so well behaved. It definitely makes me feel a certain type of way. Mad is not that way. I don't get mad. I don't even get offended, but it makes me chuckle on the inside. Like it makes me chuckle on the inside, and it makes me say like, man, you know, like what you trying to say? Black kids don't know how to act, huh? That's what you're trying to say, ain't it?
And that's why we my opinion. We're looking we're looking at it too deep. Now this is the thing too, and I gotta throw this in here because you brought up a good point. The white family didn't compliment the two families ahead of you, the two families behind you, nor the two families on the side of you, but they complimented you.
And my kids aren't the only ones that are behaving themselves.
Correct.
Okay.
God did the same thing with you. You know what I'm saying? Like you have an this is my thing, and I'm taking it there because because sometimes we don't recognize the power that we have in these other environments.
Okay.
When you have the anointing on your life,
It shows, baby.
like you'll get it. You could feel like a bum. And somebody give you a compliment, and then with that type of mindset, you're gonna be like, "Oh, they patronizing me. Oh, they this, they that." No, they giving you whatever. They giving you a compliment because of the aura around you. Like
Hey,
you have
y'all
such an
are
anointing.
wow.
We ain't messing with each other.
They brothers. They definitely brothers.
Y'all are wow.
But you got to understand that we are going to stand out. That's what we're here for.
That is something that I have not even ever considered.
Me neither.
And
I will say that.
But
I have
I've
not ever
experienced it.
considered that.
I've experienced it multiple times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
And that's my thing. Like we gotta recognize the power. We're called to be the light. We're going to stand out. Yes, our kids going see the root of this thing, even beyond the nigga, beyond black, like we are saved.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is how saved folks behave.
Okay.
And little do we know, that's an outreaching tool right there. Oh, your kids are well behaved. Yeah, well, we're God-fearing people. Yeah, well, they go to this Christian church. Yeah, well, godly principles. Like it's so many avenues. Oh yeah, we just came from church. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many outreaching tools. But this is what we're here for.
Right. So our mindset has to be in that vein when we hear those compliments.
No, I'm not saying. Well, yeah, I attend Shield of Faith
Yeah,
Christian
but
Center.
no, and we hear you though,
but just
and I
knowing that-
think that's a valid point. I think you are making a valid point. Like I said, I never even considered it because my mindset always goes to
Race.
what you trying to say.
Now, granted, and I was being transparent with y'all when I brought up the Samoan situation.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
just
yeah.
happened like 2 weeks ago at the barbershop.
Where you was racially inappropriate to the Samoan dude.
And if he took it the wrong way, and if he addressed me as such, I would have definitely
Yeah,
apologized.
for sure.
But I wanted y'all to see, like, I'm with y'all, but I was racially inappropriate,
Yeah.
so to
Right.
speak.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you know what I'm saying. But I'm being innocent. I was, I didn't mean it in a negative tone at the
Right.
same time. So
Right.
I feel, the first thing a teacher shouldn't say to a student is, "Oh, you play sports."
That was
No.
wild to me.
No,
That was
how-
just very wild to me.
How are you doing? What's
Right.
your age?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
What's your
saying?
name?
What disciplines do you like the most? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I agree there. But baby, when you get saved, I know we talk about the struggle. I know we talk about the fight, but baby, we look good. Baby, we got a light on us, baby. We got power. Yeah, we gonna stand out.
All right.
I got you.
And that's why he's Maverick.
But that's also.
I don't know how to take that.
No. Because you're deep, bro. Dang, you're deep. I'm trying to give you a compliment. Gee.
I agree with you.
See, there you go. There you go. Getting offended, bro. You're wilding.
I agree with you, and I think with this statement, we must always say, I'm going to be practical. And we're talking about in practical atmospheres. We're saying we can't accept something for truth value. Jalen goes to a predominantly white school. I'm not going to say that variable's not there when I'm examining this situation. I'm not going to say because we're in a predominantly white school and they ask him, do he play basketball? Knowing what I know of my experience and so forth, I don't think I'm like, you reaching too far. You just try and grab out of anywhere. I get it with.
We agree. I agree with you.
And some of the stuff, like I said, I didn't have. You just now was talking about in Detroit. In Baltimore, we have a lot of different races, but when we go around in a predominantly white area, I talk about my wife being from Howard County. Mm-hmm. When we're in Howard County and the ratio to blacks to whites are maybe 80 to 20, mm-hmm. It's going to be a different way. They're going to approach us differently in that county as opposed to being in Baltimore City, where the racial atmosphere can be completely switched. So out here, where I'm not used to people from the Anglo-Saxon race speaking to us that way, I'm like, hold on, why is she saying that about me? So I could be like, wow, and I'm like, why the white woman trying to say that to me? Like, what's she trying to say? I gather that, but we also can say, black people going to a predominantly white school, what are they coming here for? Sports. And we like, it's not.
Okay.
But no, and
because you even asked Dave the question, 2 questions. You said,
but I agree.
He had a jersey on. No.
Yeah, but I was being funny.
I definitely know you was being funny.
Yeah, we know you were being funny, but think about it. Think about it in the perspective like, why do we have to code switch in everything we do? We don't just code switch as it pertains to language. We code switch as it pertains to dress. Literally, black people have always been suited and booted. We always gonna look fly. Y'all come from Detroit, Chicago, the Midwest, where black people can have on a red suit and get jiggy. You have a purple suit on and be jiggy. But when we go Dave.
I would definitely have worn a red suit with the red shoes, with the red tie.
I would think that's
with
fly.
The red. You know.
But when you go to in the workforce, you now know I have to code switch my attire so I can be accepted. So,
man,
nah,
come on. I don't think that's a thing. And now I really do feel like that is, that's definitely a thing. I don't think people should do that. I don't think they should agree with people doing that.
What, dressing the part?
Would you go to your job right now with some red dress slacks on? Or some green dress?
I would.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. But that's what I'm saying. Someone feeling like you having on red slacks, or you dressing in one of your type of outfits that you wear, because we definitely know who you are. Yeah. I don't think if someone was to say that's not how you dress when you go to, I don't think that you should consider that going to work. Like if you want to wear, if you want to wear your red joint, wear it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
that's what I'm saying.
I think I agree with you. As long as you are complying with the
if there's a dress code, if there's a dress code, definitely you have to follow the dress code.
I'm just making sure that's clear because we're going to dress according to the environment for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So. But I agree. Yeah, if I go in there with whatever, as long as I'm complying with the dress code, saying. I'm with whatever.
You ever seen the movie? It just came out recently. It had Denzel in it, and he was like this autistic guy. He was an autistic lawyer.
Yeah, that lawyer.
Right, and when he went into the job, and he had on like urban wear, essentially. Yeah, he was looked upon differently because he wasn't meeting the accepted.
And then the next thing you know, he wore a suit. He put on a suit like the next day or whatever. Like he saw that he was quote unquote out of place, and he dressed like the people that he saw around him. What I'm saying is he didn't have to do that.
He was a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he was dressing
Esquire.
down.
He went.
What's it called again?
He went to
Esquire.
he went to work, and I don't even remember how he was dressed, but he definitely wasn't dressed like everyone around him. And because he saw that he wasn't dressed around like everybody around him. Side note, he was the smartest dude in the whole place.
Right.
Okay, but he saw how people were dressed, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna have to switch it up." And he went and he bought a suit, and it wasn't even a fly suit either. But that's neither here nor there. But he wore the suit. I'm just saying he didn't have to do that. He could have came dressed how he was dressed.
Now, what's work? You know, that's why I keep
What you mean?
asking. Was he in the courtroom?
No. He was never in the courtroom. He was like the paralegal that would give them, I don't even know if that's what it's called, but he was the dude that would do the research and give them the
Paralegal.
Okay, that's the paralegal.
Yeah.
He was the dude that would give them the research.
They do the work.
Yeah, word. And give them the what you
Well, now dig this, and it can go both ways because someone who was what you call it, outlier. Is that the word? Is Steve Jobs. That dude, he went to certain jobs and didn't wear shoes. Like, he didn't take showers. And I'm only saying this because I read the book. It's a phenomenal book. You know, he didn't follow the dress code, you know, wherever he went. If you look at Apple facility,
they dressed him
they
type of way.
dressed down.
I
dressed down, but
I think following the dress code and just doing you, that's kind of two different things. Because if the dress code say you got to wear shoes and you don't wear shoes, then you out of pocket.
But this is my thing. So what was he wearing in the movie?
My thing is, I really don't remember, but I do know that no one was checking him about how he dressed. As far as like, you need to be following the rules. That's not how you dress. He took it upon himself to go, man, I need to look the par. So let me look the par.
Right.
I'm saying he didn't have to do that.
Right then, I mean, and you know that's on that individual.
Absolutely. Boom. There you go.
Me
There
personally,
you go.
I want to look good.
Yeah, absolutely.
For you know whatever part it may be, I want.
You
people
literally just said that's on the individual.
And the thing
because I want to
is-
look good too.
Yeah, I know you. You look good, brother.
Hello.
But you know, even though you may be a genius, speak elegantly,
Eloquent and elegant.
yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
People can only read you by what they see initially. So, for an example, I don't wear do-rags to the gas station for a reason. I never know who I may meet. Could an individual say, you are who you are. They got to accept you. You know what I'm saying? If you run into a businessman, you a businessman too. You just got a do-rag on. Me personally, I want to look professional. You know, I don't believe, in my opinion, this is solely my opinion.
Absolutely, brother.
A do-rag isn't professional. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Now, can you be a professional individual wearing a do-rag? Yes, but I don't believe it's a part of the professional attire.
Right,
So,
but you specifically said the gas station, so you can't go to the gas station with your do-rag
me
on?
personally, like to the point, and y'all can say whatever. And I literally, my
But we
my
gonna say
missus,
whatever.
man, good, we can do this. Ain't gonna change.
Do
But,
what?
I'm about
Whoa,
to-
what can we do?
No, we can spar.
Oh my God.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little spar.
Really?
Well, you gonna wear
Really?
pajamas
Hold on.
outside anyway.
We could spar because I'm gonna say something about you wearing a do-rag to the
But dig this, because the missus was like, said something about wearing your do-rag.
who?
The missus, the lady.
Oh,
What?
word. She told you don't
she
do
was-
it.
No. She was just asking me if I, keep the do-rag on my way to the job.
Word.
And I was like, I actually do. But if I stop by the gas station, I take it off. But when I get back in the car,
You put it back
I
on.
may,
Oh,
depending
okay.
on how a brother look. It'd be rough sometimes. You ain't got that lineup.
Yeah.
You feel me? But I do it because you never know who you're going to encounter.
Yeah.
And that's me.
Yeah,
I want
no,
to
for
look.
sure.
I want to look.
I feel like you don't need to keep saying that.
Oh, I'm going to say that anyway. It's coming out like that.
Yeah, clearly.
But I want to. I
And we're
want to
not
look
gonna
a
spar
certain-
either,
Oh, okay. Well,
bro, because you wildin' with that. You definitely wildin' with that.
but as long as you complying with the dress code, man, that's all that matter. And at
Word.
the end of the day, it's your conviction. You know what I'm saying?
Word. I think that's my point as well. This has been a podcast brought to you by the Flowers Now Network. But on some real stuff, like this has been extremely an interesting discussion. We
brought out a lot of feelings. I feel
yeah, for sure. Sure. Apparently, some people were offended. Apparently,
hey, don't block my phone number, guys.
No one's blocking anyone's phone number. It's we all love each other still at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So I knew that too, but yeah, like this has been like super interesting. We definitely got way off topic, but it's cool. It is what it is.
You think so?
I think
My
so.
bad, not to cut you off, but you think
No. I think so. But what I want to do right now is like put a button on it and kind of go around and the N word.
Oh, we get,
Yeah, like we started off talking about that. Now we talking about dress code and UN, which it's all.
I think it's a branch.
Yeah, there we go. I was trying to think
Or
of.
encompass.
I was trying to think of the professional word.
Relative.
Since we talking about, yeah, it's all relative. It's all relative. It's all in perspective. It's all in the same family. You know what I'm saying? But the N word, I use it. I do recognize that some of the ways that I feel about nigga, nigger, nigra is hypocritical. I can admit that. Because I personally feel like whoever you are, you can say whatever you want to say. I say this sometimes to certain people, especially at the group home. Freedom of speech, freedom of consequences. Like that's kind of like a phrase that I use. And so in other words, you can say what you want, but you cannot be upset or mad if someone reacts the way that they react.
For sure.
You have to know certain things have certain connotations, whether it's nigga or whether it's whatever it is, I can't think of that right now, but whatever it is, you have to know that certain things have a certain connotation. And when you use certain things, when you say certain phrases, you have to, in your mind, play out how it could go and be ready for how it could go if you're going to say it. And you can't be mad like, man, I said such and such to him and he slapped me. Like, I feel like you should kind of, and sometimes you can't predict that somebody gonna slap you if you go, man, I love those shoes. Don't you ever talk to me about shoes? Because I went 15 years without shoes. It's like, well, bro, I was just saying. So some things you're never gonna be able to do that with, but the things that you can, you should. So that's how I feel about it. Freedom of speech, freedom of consequences. If you're gonna say something, you gotta be aware that it could go a certain type of way. Sure. If you're not willing for it to go that certain type of way, don't do it.
There you go.
Specifically, we are talking about the N-word, but I think that should be a mantra for life. Say what you want, because we do have freedom of whatever, but if you ain't with it going however it could go, analyze that and just don't say it, or do say it and then be with it. How do you feel, Brother Mike? Put a button on it.
I think I'm able to now put things in a little perspective. I think even when you get emotional in a conversation, you have to be willing to hear what another person is saying. And I think I appreciate that Rick said, you might be out of pocket. Like, understand that you're a Christian and what people see you doing is a thing. Mm-hmm. And, saying you've been a Christian, having a certain aura about you, quote unquote, is a thing. And I personally just now, I walked into the conversation feeling like, you can say the nigga word if you want, whatever, but I'm just always conscious of like who's watching me. And I only want to use certain type of vernacular with people that I'm comfortable with in my own personal space. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to share personal space outside of personal space, personal behaviors outside of personal space. So if I invite you into my personal space, I expect that anything that I say to you in confidence or in our friendship should stay there. Okay. And deal with people outside of there. That's I'm gonna treat you like you're an outsider, and that doesn't mean I don't love you. It's that I'm just gonna treat you as such. So I don't treat other people like they're family if they're not family. So I don't go around saying nigga about anybody else or outside of my own personal space, because that's a language that's set up just for my family or my circle. So I won't, and I so it's just being conscious. I feel like I just want to make sure that I'm conscious in what I'm saying and how I'm reacting to things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Ricky. Man, I felt weird calling you that like
Yeah,
that.
it
My
sounded
bad,
weird,
my
bro.
bad, dog. My bad.
I don't even know what you call me.
What you
do
think,
call
Rick?
Me? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's how I call you, Rick.
I got all type of names.
Yeah, definitely got all
I
that.
call you son.
Son.
Yeah, okay.
Jesus. Here
You
they
want,
go
the
again.
you want the unedited
Man,
version?
look, no, I don't. I want the man. Say what you gonna say. Hey, say how you gonna say it, brother. I can't even.
Of course, we have to choose our words wisely,
All right.
but everything can't phase us either.
All right.
Even the words such as nigga, like, it means nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? It means nothing to me.
Yes, sir.
Black, white, even if someone was saying it in, an antagonizing way, trying to get me to rise up, that thing doesn't bother me. And I say this to the best of my ability, I'm going to try to resist. I'm going to say that right now. I can't promise everything. I can't promise nobody anything. But as long as you're not touching me, touching my family, touching my bros, we good. It doesn't, that thing is not going to phase me. It means nothing to me. I don't, I give certain words power. They don't come with the power. I give it power.
All right.
Period.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Drew Visual. You've been unusually quiet. Welcome back, bro.
What's up?
Welcome back. Welcome back. No, but put a button on it.
I just hark on what Rick said.
Mm-hmm.
We allow ourselves to be drawn in by what people say,
Okay.
and so we can choose to either overanalyze or take a word or a phrase or a question or whatever and totally flip it on a person, but it not be what they meant. And I kind of take words at face value. I kind of give that person the reasonable doubt. Like honestly, I think that people are coming across to me the way that I would come across to them.
Don't laugh at me.
So if
Bro,
they
you wildin'.
if they say, my children are, well behaved, I'm not thinking of as, because I'm black, because my children are well behaved. And period.
Yes, sir.
That's it. As far as the nigga word, it's all about my relation with that person.
Okay.
And I'm not, again, like Rick said, I'm not gonna take offense to whether somebody means it in a friendly way. I'm obviously gonna know it. But even if they mean it as an adjective, to agitate me or offend me, I mean, you can think what you can say. You can call me nigger in an offensive way all you want to. I know that I'm not one, in the way that you mean.
Okay.
As far as being the ignorant person.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, as you said, brother, know that people are not going to take things the way that you say them, and be ready to deal with the consequences. That's just life.
That's true. That's life.
just
I
life.
like that.
Absolutely.
That much, bro.
Absolutely. Well, I love y'all, man.
To life.
And I love these types of conversations. I know I probably say that after every one of these that we do, but man, they are very necessary for growth. They are very necessary for self-examination, and that is definitely one of the major reasons why we do this. You know what I mean? And so, man, you have been tuned in to the Honor Among Men podcast. And if you made it this far, man, we appreciate you for tuning in. We appreciate you for joining us. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. I feel like I want to give out the social media again. I did it in the beginning, but I don't know. We do it again. Social media, we on YouTube, might be, you're watching us on YouTube for sure. The Flowers Now Network. It's all one word. Catch us on SoundCloud. The Flowers Now Network. All one word. Be looking out for Facebook. We're going live on Facebook real soon. Be looking out for Instagram. We're going to use Instagram accordingly, obviously. And everything is the Flowers Now Network, all one word. And once again, man, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe and follow and like and comment and do all that other stuff, man. Grow with us, man. Grow with us. We're growing. And we out, man. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.